Let's speak plainly. What happened in Gaza is the moral catastrophe of our time. Tens of thousands of civilians killed, entire neighborhoods flattened, children pulled from the rubble, families cut off from food, water, and medicine. This is not a matter of party politics, it is a matter of humanity. And when history writes this chapter, it will record who had the courage to speak clearly and who chose to protect their career. The Labour leadership failed this test.
A siege is appropriate? Cutting off power, cutting off water?
Well, I think that Israel does have that right.
When the world demanded an immediate ceasefire, they refused. When civilians were being killed in their thousands, they called for pauses. When international law was being questioned, they offered carefully balanced statements designed not to offend Israel. Let us call that what it is, a failure of leadership. We must also speak plainly about the wider war now unfolding in the Middle East. The United States and Israel launched military strikes on Iran, attacking a sovereign state without any credible legal mandate under international law. There has been no United Nations authorization and no imminent threat that could justify such action. Yet, the Labour government in Britain has chosen to support this escalation, providing arms, logistical assistance, and military assets in the region. This is not about defending democracy or protecting peace. It follows a long pattern of Western intervention in the Middle East, driven by the pursuit of power, the control of oil and energy resources, and the maintenance of regional dominance. And once again, it risks deepening instability and suffering for ordinary people across the region. When bombs are falling on civilians, neutrality is not neutral. When you refuse to demand an end to mass civilian suffering, you are enabling it. When you hide behind complexity while children are dying, you are complicit in silence. And here in Britain, Labour representatives followed orders. They did not lead, they did not challenge, they did not show independent moral courage. They repeated the party line. London is one of the most diverse cities in the country, and here in Redbridge, we understand complexity, but we also understand basic morality. Civilian lives matter. Collective punishment is wrong. Starvation as a weapon is wrong. We needed moral clarity. Labour gave us ambiguity, and that is not an isolated failure, it reflects a deeper problem. Labour in Redbridge has grown too comfortable. For years, they have treated this borough as their personal fiefdom. Safe seats, automatic loyalty, no real fear of losing power. And what happens when politicians believe they can't lose? They stop listening. Council tax rises year on year, planning applications pushed through despite resident objections, overdevelopment without the roads, schools, or GP capacity to support it, residents raising concerns about crime and antisocial behaviour and feeling unheard. Decisions made first, explanations given later. This is what one-party dominance looks like, and the failure on Gaza is simply the clearest example of a wider culture in the Labour Party. Protect the party, don't upset the leadership, stay in line even when your conscience demands otherwise. That is why change is not an option, it is essential. Redbridge independence is not controlled by party headquarters. Accountability changes behaviour. If a councillor knows they can be voted out, they listen harder, they work harder, they respond faster. Competition strengthens democracy. It prevents complacency. Voting independent is not a protest vote. It is a power shift. It says this borough is not owned by Labour. It belongs to its residents. It says moral courage matters more than party discipline. It says local decisions should be made by local people, not shaped by national political strategy. This election is about restoring balance. Balance between compassion abroad and competence at home. Balance between development and infrastructure. Balance between representation and accountability. If your representatives cannot stand up when innocent civilians are being killed abroad, ask yourself, will they stand up for you when planning decisions affect your home, when council tax rises again, when local services are cut even further? Redbridge deserves better. than complacency.
Redbridge independence is not controlled by party headquarters. We do not take instructions from Westminster. We live here, we work here, our children go to school here. Our businesses operate here. Local people making local decisions. When a planning application affects your street, we answer to you, not to developers with political connections. When council tax rises are proposed, we ask whether residents can actually afford it. When a humanitarian crisis unfolds and our community demands moral clarity, we are free to speak with our own voice. We deserve representatives with a backbone. If you want moral clarity, if you want real accountability, if you want local people making local decisions, then this is the time to vote for Redbridge independence. Because power only changes hands when voters decide it must. And that moment is now. Your voice, our mission, vote Redbridge independence.